New card. What do you think?
Whoa. Very nice.
It's very cool, Bateman, but that's nothing. Look at this.
That is really nice.
What do you think?
Nice. Let's see Paul Allen's card. Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it.
Something wrong, Patrick?
No, no, no! Everyone!
Hey everyone, welcome to another keyboard review. With this one, if I press a button, it actually types a letter. No, but in actuality, the OASIS 75 is one of the best keyboards I've tried. Well, yeah, that's kind of how it works. With more iterations of the same product, better and better versions of them will come out. And it's no different with keyboards. We've come to a point with keyboards where we should be expecting the highest quality. And this is where the Backspace OASIS 75 comes out. Can they use the name Oasis? I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. Before the review begins, I must mention that this keyboard was sent to me free of charge. However, none of the things I said were curated by Backspace. Everything I say is what I personally think. Now back to the video. What makes this keyboard so great is that it combines the best aspects of the two most known cheater keyboards from the OSU community. But before I go on why that is the case and why this keyboard should be in your wish list, I will go over some boxes that this keyboard ticks. Rapid trigger? Check. Arguably the best magnetic switch? Check. A good build quality? Mega check. This keyboard has an aluminum build and really high quality keycaps. High polling rate? Mega check. This keyboard has a polling rate of 8,000 Hz. Insane numbers, I know. A good layout and aesthetics? Check. This keyboard is a very compact 75% keyboard and it has many and beautiful colorways. This is one of the most premium looking and feel keyboards I've ever seen and used. This feeling translates to everything and even the unboxing experience. Like, I mean, seriously, with no exaggeration, this is the best unboxing experience I've ever had. Just look at this box. Everything is very neatly packed, and taking off the cover, you get this manual in both English and Mandarin.
高端的食材往往只需要采用最朴素的烹饪方式。
Then, taking the main object and taking off this plastic wrap, you get to see the keyboard, which also has a dust cover. The keyboard itself is actually pretty heavy.
Alright, step on the scale.
Weight limit exceeded. 1 person at a time, please.
And on the back, it has some added weight with the company name and the keyboard line. Then in the package, there's also this toolbox, which is nearly impossible to take out, like seriously. But in there is a cold cable, which is something that I greatly appreciated from the Acco keyboard as well, a keycap and switch puller, and this mystery bag. Well, okay, it's not that mysterious, it just has different keycaps for the different systems that you could use this keyboard on, like Mac OS, or Windows, or Linux if you're a geek.
How about those girls at your school? You like any of them, or what?
Oh gosh, no. But we did learn about how female insects tend to colonize their
You also get 2 extra switches, which is nice, but if you ever somehow run out of switches or they stop working, you can just buy them from the Backspace website, which is pretty cool. Straight off the bat, once you start using the keyboard, you can not just feel the quality, but also hear it. So here's a sound test. The keyboard currently only comes with 2 different magnetic switches. Both are from Gatoron though, so you should be set. Comparing the 2 switches, the Jade Blacks have a shorter travel distance and a heavier force of activation. And this actuation force difference is laughable at best, but I would recommend you go with the Black Jades, as super light switches are typically not the best option for not just gaming but also typing obviously. But still, the Black Jade switches are amazing. They're very sharp and very fast, especially in games like X-Defiant or Call of Duty. I don't like this game. And similarly in rhythm games like OSU, in which I specialize more. The reason why I think this keyboard is so great for OSU is that it combines the best aspects of the two most iconic keyboards in OS history, the HyperX Alloy Origins Score and the Wooting 60HE. You see, what made the Alloy Origins so good was how sharp it felt. Tapping with it was so satisfying. However, the keyboard is now ancient technology because it doesn't have magnetic switches, therefore it doesn't have rapid trigger. And then comes the Wooting 60HE. Probably the most infamous keyboard in the gaming scene currently. Most people know why this is such a great keyboard, but if you don't, it's because it has Hall effect switches. And what those Hall effect switches can do essentially boils down to two words: rapid trigger. But the 60HE lacked the sharpness of the Origins score. This is where the Backspace OASIS 75 comes in. This keyboard features the sharp tapping feel of the Origin score. The reason why this is the case with this keyboard and not the Wooting, primarily it's because of the aluminum build. This keyboard is really solid. You can't bend this thing, especially the average OSU player would not be able to. Maybe Davilov could, but he's the only exception. But as much praise as I could give this keyboard for the high quality materials, the very good feel, there are some critiques that could be sent to this keyboard, as it's not perfect. And no keyboard is. The first thing is that this keyboard can sound and feel a little hollow. Well, that's because it is. If you open it up, you see that there's absolutely no foam underneath. Obviously, this is a pretty easy fix. You can open the keyboard and add foam, or do a tape mod. It really depends how big of an issue this is and what kind of fix do you prefer. Also, opening the keyboard is quite simple. You take the top shelf off with these 6 screws. Also, you can use the keyboard like this, and it's actually pretty nice. Then you unscrew these screws and then you just lift off the PCB, but be careful because there is a wire. And yeah, you can see the keyboard is pretty hollow, but again, you can fix this by doing some DIY work. Though I gotta say, for a premium keyboard, not to feature this very, well, cheap fix, not the best look in my opinion. Especially considering that the main competitor has foam in it. Another thing I want to point out is not really a problem, but more of an inconvenience. You have to download the software manually. Unfortunately, it's not web-based currently. This might be a fix, I don't know, it's up to the company themselves. It is a bit of a letdown because many companies now have web-based software and it is much more convenient to use. So take some notes. Speaking of the software, the Backspace software is not just a place where you can customize the performance and some visuals of your keyboard, it is also a social club. What? What does this mean? I hope it's nothing bad. However, the main attraction is the keyboard software, and it's quite intuitive. It's fairly easy to understand. Adjusting actuation points can be very precise. You can adjust by 0.04 millimeters. You can separately adjust the dynamic travel and reset, or you can link the two together to adjust them simultaneously. There are 2 main modes for the switches, one being traditional and the other rapid trigger. The traditional mode disables rapid trigger, whereas the rapid trigger mode, well, I think you can understand what it does. And then there's also the macro tab, in which you can make, well, macros. Those can be something that types something instantly, or you can set delays between each keystroke. Yes, this does mean that you can create streaming macros with relax-like unstable rate. What the hell? However, use this at your own risk because this is definitely something you will get banned for. You can also adjust the lighting of your keyboard. I like to have mine at a solid color, and you can rebind each key to whatever you want. There are also a total of 3 profiles you can set. And what I like about this keyboard is that you don't need to open the software each time you want to switch between them. There's this switch on the keyboard which allows to switch between all the 3 profiles. The other one is for switching between Mac and Windows. However, there are no dynamic keystroke options or something similar to it. Most people do not use features like dynamic keystroke and things like that on keyboards like the Wooting. But this could be a letdown to many people as, well, it is nice to know that at least you can do something like that. But I think in the future, features like this will be added because the magnetic switch technology Well, it exists and you can just program your way around it. At least I think so. But lastly, I have to mention the biggest elephant in the room.
So we're not about to address the elephant in the room? What are you talking about? Okay, fine, my ex and I were getting back together. Oh no, you gotta be—
You know, I went on and on about how premium this keyboard is and how premium it feels. Well, the price tag is equally premium.
What the hell?
Yeah, the absolute cheapest model is $200, and that's the black colorway with the dual rail magnetic switch. And if you want the black jades, that adds another $50. Pretty pricey. Also, the prices differ between colorways. So the most expensive colorway is actually $255, and if you add the black jades, that's $290. Now, is that expensive? Yes, absolutely yes. There's no going around that. That is a pretty hefty price tag. However, is it worth it? Well, in my opinion, yes, but the biggest deciding factor is you.
Beck, you're too drunk to be alone. What if some sicko had followed you down here?
There are rapid trigger keyboards that are even under $100 now. However, to make these keyboards cost that little, cheap materials have to be used, cheaper switches, cheaper PCBs, everything is cheaper. And yes, with premium keyboards and premium experiences, you will have to pay more, typically. I would say the main competitor for the OASIS 75 is the Wooting 88G. Now, as I mentioned, the cheapest option for the OASIS 75 is $200. The cheapest Wooting 88G, the full set, is $220. Now yes, Wooting has some better things about it, but there is one drawback to the Wooting 88G which makes me think that the OASIS 75 is technically a better deal, and that is that the base Wooting 88G model is plastic, and the base OASIS 75 keyboard has an aluminum case. Now often, a problem with aluminum cases, especially some cheaper ones, is well, that they feel cheap. But in my honest opinion, the OASIS 75 is great. The aluminum build is really solid. Yeah, no shit, it's a metal. It's really good. Trust me, it's good. Now, I also don't have the Wooting 88G, so I can't really tell you which one is better and which to choose. So you should compare this review and what I've said about this keyboard to someone else. But if you want to save the most money, I highly recommend going with the OASIS 75. The keyboard really has very little flaws. There's not much that I can point to and say, yes, this is a reason why you shouldn't get this keyboard. Because you should, if you have the money, of course. But that being said, you should get a keyboard that you like and that fits in your budget, especially in this economy. However, if you want a really good build quality in an all-in-one package, I think the OASIS 75 is definitely something you should consider. And considering this is Backspace's second keyboard, they've done a really fantastic job, and that also means that they could potentially have even better products on the way. The build quality consistency is really good on this keyboard, and it holds up very well even over the months that I've been using this keyboard. My biggest concern was that my typing would slow down because the switches are lighter, but actually my typing has improved. I type faster and sure I get some errors, but I think those errors occur because I just suck at typing. I'm not the best, guys, come on, cut me some slack. But overall, there are really only minor issues with this keyboard, like the software, and the price tag could be a very deterring thing, which I totally understand, but remember, this is a premium product. But the other factors like the build quality, the feel, the performance is definitely something that could make the case for this keyboard being one of the best on the market currently. And if you are interested, product links will obviously be in the description below. Again, Backspace sent me this keyboard free of charge, but these were all my personal honest opinions, and I've been using this keyboard for quite some time, especially because I broke my arm. So yeah, in my honest opinion, this is the best keyboard that I've tried, used, and the best keyboard that I would recommend to you. Thank you for watching, and peace.